Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. I'm Chris.
I'm Audrey.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Lourdes.
And I'm not sure I want to participate with the energy level that freaking low. I had coffee today.
You
How
have
you
to.
doing?
How you doing?
I'm that guy. I'm the wrong. That's me. I'm him.
That's like,
He's that guy.
I'm not that guy. I'm this guy.
Ooh, he just called you a guy. Smack him.
Oh,
So I hope everybody had a good week.
don't ever say Monday.
You just
I
said
know.
it. You just said it.
I
You
know,
just
right?
Monday is Tony's F word.
Yes.
It is. It absolutely is.
it was
Yeah.
a long day.
I hate Mondays. Well, you just come off the weekend, and about 8 o'clock at night, you finally start to calm down and relax, and then boom, you're back in all over again. And it drives me crazy.
Wait, hang on. It takes Tony till 8 o'clock Sunday night to relax.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Huh.
I'm
By
relaxed
8,
by
he has to
6
be in
p.m.
bed.
Friday night.
I need the 4 weekends together in a row. 8 days off, and
Yeah.
maybe.
But then it hasn't happened for 3 weeks.
I was gonna say, but I don't want 20 days of work in a row.
Oh no, that we're not talking about that. That happens every week.
Oh, okay. I'm ready for that too.
So Tony wants to move to the 2 days,
Two
5
working
days, yeah, 5 days
5
off.
day weekend. Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm voting for Rathman for president.
Exactly. I mean, that
I
works.
just changed my vote too. Shit.
As long
Right.
as the 2 days of work aren't together.
Yeah. It's crazy because on one hand, you're fresh from what you just did. What we do is a weekend thing, right? So you come off the weekend, you remember stuff. We get old and we go, what did I do yesterday? So Mondays is good for that. But the otherwise, no.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, no. Hey, I wish that 2-day job a week would pay enough that we could do investigations for 5 days straight.
Yeah.
It's going to be mandatory in the plan. Same pay.
Vote
Contract.
Tony Rathman for president.
Okay.
That makes you
Now
the
this
first lady.
this just isn't right.
Yeah. Anthony.
But we're happy for
See that?
Anthony.
Yeah.
Dang.
Those
Yeah.
retired assholes always have to come in and go, what day is it?
I know. He does it all the time too.
Yeah,
he does. He earned it though. He earned it.
Yes.
No, he definitely earned it.
He sure did. And we had a great weekend too. We like to always, like we do with our guests, shout out to other people. We were invited by the Psychic Housewife from New Jersey, Intuitive April, was set to an investigation in South Jersey to a place we can't believe we'd never heard of before. I think they just started doing investigations. It was the old Columbus Inn in Columbus, New Jersey, built in 1812. And we were also hosted by Dirty Jersey Paranormal.
Yeah.
And a gentleman named Mike, who also runs the place. They could not have been nicer and more welcoming, even though they're the host team. They had us run our investigation. If we needed something, you need a flashlight, you need a water, they go get it for you. They sat back and they observed and they kind of helped out. And it was so nicely done. And we were excited because it was reminiscent of us, which you four have done before, which is we're involved with people who are trying to save and preserve a historic place that needs restoration, needs income. And so we were the second team to go in. We got some great stuff. Rich Michella from the Jersey Paranormal Project was with us. And we're looking forward to building a relationship there and helping them
Raise money.
keep the place going, right?
Because it needs a lot of work. It's beautiful, but it needs a lot of work.
That's
So hopefully we
fantastic.
can help them raise some money.
Yeah, and somebody enjoyed it because somebody, I don't want to name names, who likes EVPs, got some great ones Saturday.
Yeah,
Cool.
Fantastic.
So how far is that from you guys?
an hour and a half.
If that,
A
yeah,
little less than an hour and a half.
if that.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
No, that's not bad. That's
And the
not
people
bad.
down there have a couple different locations in that same almost walking vicinity. One of them's next door, that they have access to all of them. They're all that old. They all have history and layers of stuff where it was seedy stuff and active and prohibition and Underground Railroad. And so there's going to be more than one spot that we'll get to go down and work with those people on. So we're excited. And then we're also throwing it out there, not just a shout out, respect and love to them, but as bait for you people. So maybe we can get you to come to Jersey again.
There you go. There you go.
That would be cool.
Before the snow falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming soon.
Yeah. What?
Well, it should be end of October or November for
Snow?
sure. You start to see it, right?
It's possible. Yeah. There was actually, you know, your weather app, when you see like the rain or the clouds like that, there was one time. So I remember last night, it was like 11 p.m., 12 p.m., or 12 a.m. rather. 1 a.m. was a little snowflake, and then it was gone at 2 a.m. and went, there's a snowflake on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, rain and clouds on your weather forecast? What? Yeah.
Hurricanes? What do you
Yeah.
mean? I don't know.
Welcome to Charlotte. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They were battening down the hatches for Ian to come in,
Yeah.
right? I sent all my employees home at noon on Friday to make sure everybody was at home so they were safe when the hurricane hit. We got rain.
Well, high wind and rain. High wind.
The trees went like this and then stood back up. We got some flooding. I mean, we got 4 inches in one day, which is Phoenix's total rainfall for the year.
Right.
For the year, yeah. If we're lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I learned from this moment was that I would love to see Chris and Audra do the weather just so that she could contradict what he says and he can go,
It doesn't have to be weather.
But it was a tropical storm by the time it went your way, right? It wasn't like a hurricane.
yeah,
I didn't see any coconuts or pineapples, so it wasn't very tropical.
he's right. He's right. That's how you know.
Yeah.
All right, I got a quick funny,
Uh-oh. How are you gonna?
and this is kind of related to our show.
Funny in our show? What?
Yeah, why is it not coming up in front?
Because you have it as a background.
Oh, duh.
Just slide it.
Funny there.
For those of you that can see through us, I'm just kidding.
We've been told.
Let me go back and add this.
You see right through you.
Let me find it. It's here, I promise.
So we've done the show for a long time, folks, and one of the things we've really been stuck in a rut with is organization. So tonight we're getting rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
We're just
clean it
No.
all.
Yeah, we're done with it. Yeah. There we
There
go.
it is.
The life of a paranormal investigator. What my friends think I do, Scooby Dooby Roo. What my mom thinks I do is, worship the devil. Society thinks we chase sheets with holes in them. Our coworkers think we're superheroes.
Absolutely.
We think we're the Ghostbusters, but if you look really close with all the evidence that we show, this is what really happens. Most of the time, there's multiple screens involved with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then our wives are in the other room going, that's not what I heard.
Katie,
It's not
help
what
it.
it said. It is not what that. Exactly.
Thank you, Katie Holte. We love you
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you, Katie.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
That was a good add-on, Chris, and that's there's truth to that. That's a
There's
lot of
truth.
funny is there's truth to that. People think that we think everything that makes a noise and everything that happens is a ghost because we hunt them, and we don't even hunt them.
No.
You don't have to. There's no licenses involved.
No. We
No
walk,
permits involved in that.
we walk
one.
around old abandoned buildings and wait for people to talk to us.
Yeah.
That aren't there.
Imagine if they tried to regulate it like that. They would never do it. They would never try to regulate it with permits and stuff. Because, think about it. Anybody can have a kid, but you have to have a license to put a worm on a hook, right? It's not going to happen.
Right.
That's so true.
You never know. We have a community garage sale coming up.
Right on.
Each individual house had to go get a permit.
$5.
Wow, to have a garage sale?
And
Yes,
you're only
sir.
allowed 4 per year.
For garages?
So I bet you don't talk too loud, Ron, because if the city hall up the street hears you, they'll start charging paranormal permits.
If any government official hears that too loudly, they're going, hey, that's a good way to make some money.
We can get tax dollars off that. Let's get some paranormal permits going.
Paranormal permit.
All praise to the old God.
What? What?
Paranormal permit.
You have to go get a pee-pee?
PP.
She was afraid to say that again, like this is a G-rated Disney show.
Plus, maybe.
G plus?
Entity.
Is it that rating? Never
You know,
been that rating.
You know, we've hit rock bottom when Alice in Wonderland has gone in the gutter with the rest of us. That's it. There's no coming back.
But you see what I deal with. She's afraid to repeat PP.
I miss you too, Katie. We'll see you soon.
See, everybody just a day in the life of Chris. When she drops the F-bomb, I get in trouble because it's my fault she said it.
Bad influence.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Poor
Yeah.
Ricky sitting
There's
there.
something we're forgetting. We're forgetting about something tonight. I don't know what it is.
Why
I don't know what the hell is going on here. I don't know what the hell you're thinking. Come hell or high water.
Come hell
Yeah,
or
we
high
seem to
water.
be
This is
missing
gonna be a hell
something
of a
that
show.
we seem to be missing something we normally have on the show. What could that be?
Yeah. Class? No, that's not it.
No.
Nah, that's never there.
That's never- No, it's not. No,
So
it's
for
not.
everybody that's here to watch the show for a show, although we are having fun,
Yep.
I want you guys to welcome one Hellard of a guy, Ricky Hellard.
There he is.
Hey, Ricky.
Ricky.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going?
Oh my
Long
God.
time no see.
I know.
I know it's me.
Doing good. How y'all?
No.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, man. We were looking forward to this show. For people who don't know you, you're going to introduce yourself and tell you how you got started, like we will ask our guests to do. But from an interactive standpoint, as part of the community, for people who don't know him, this is one of those people when you talk about the prototype of people should share other people's stuff, they should support other people, they should do things with other people, collaborate, learn, teach. This is the guy. This is somebody who does that. He walks that walk. So that is one of the biggest reasons why we wanted to have you back on the show. Plus, you get great stuff. So, boom, there it is. Your story.
Oh, y'all gonna make me cry and blush.
Not at the same time. We do one emotion at a time here.
that's a good idea, though. Maybe we
You can't be multi-talented, though. You know? Are you cry blushing right now? Yes.
Yeah. When Ron finished there, I thought Tony was going to drop his mouse, but every time he does, it turns off.
It only gets to the main, it just takes us out. It's very particular about that.
But
All
yeah,
right, Ricky. For
my
those
name's
that don't
Ricky.
know you, go ahead. Tell them why you got into the paranormal to begin with.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's start from the very beginning. I didn't find the paranormal. The paranormal found me. From an age as early as a toddler, infant. From there, I was terrified of it as I was growing up till about the age of 13 when I saw a full-bodied apparition of a Confederate cavalry officer at Chickamauga Battlefield. And I mean, ever since that incident, I haven't looked back.
At 13?
13 years old.
That's great. There were Muppets that would scare me at 13. I can't even imagine.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, I was terrified. It was the thought more than anything. I was like, oh my God, what if I saw a ghost? You know, so I got scared of it. You know, my mental state was like scaring me. But when it actually happened, I was shocked at first. I was like, holy cow, I just see what I thought I saw. And then next thing I know, I was more intrigued than I was scared. It was weird.
Yeah, I had a similar instance happen when I was 12. I mean, I've been hearing and seeing spirits since I was, last time I remember is 5. But when I was 12, I had one approach me in a friend's house and stop in front of me. And I couldn't hear the voice, but she was trying to talk to me. And it scared the living hell out of me that night. The next day, I was hooked. It's
Right.
Yeah, I was like, what was she trying to say? What was she? Now I got to figure out what was going on, and that's when I
Yep.
started chasing. Yeah.
So, Ricky, how long have you been in the field now?
Man, 17 years, I think, is the actual number. I've been
So then-
in it since I was like 13. I'm 31 now, so
So then a great question. I think this would be something that people, especially anybody new watching, would want to know. What's your advice for people? How do you transition? Is there anything you even do, or does it just organically happen to go from the scared kid who did not know what to make of what you saw to the guy now who is knee deep in this stuff, investigating every chance you get?
well, for one, no, you're not crazy. You know, that's the first thing. I remember the emotions growing up, and seeing people nowadays, they're like, "Oh man, I'm crazy." I'm not seeing this stuff. No, you possibly are. Don't ever write it off as being crazy. You're not crazy, and just approach it with an open, respectful mind. Don't ever go against your gut. If you're scared, it's okay to be scared. I'm not gonna lie. There's some times where I gotta be like, I'm not going in there alone. But then there's times like, oh yeah, send me in. It all depends.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yep, and be yourself. Everybody's different. Everybody's a different investigator. Even though we may be similar, we do similar things, but at the end of the day, we're all different. It's okay to be unique. Find what floats your boat and do it.
Right. And Ricky, that's great advice too. That don't think you're crazy, because even the six sitting around you, when we do investigations, there's times where sometimes we look at each other and go, "Are we?"
Oh, I do it all the time. I do it all the time too. But I always have to tell myself, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. This I have it on audio, so. But then again, the voice in the back of my head's like, "Am I really crazy?"
If you believed you were crazy, would you wear a hat with, I don't know, with, let's say, like the letter C on it for crazy? Would you do that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like,
It's not my A for Atlanta Braves, but I did go see my first MLB game yesterday, so that's my souvenir.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice.
That was good advice, though.
But still, go Braves. Go Braves. I can't cheat on my Braves.
That's good advice, though, because I think we've talked about this in the past shows, that's for some people, that's that fight or flight moment. You either run from this stuff, no way, that's nuts. I don't want anybody, because you did have something you believed, even at the core, was legit, or you have this inquisitive now, I need to understand, how does this happen? Why does this happen? And so you took that second path, and that's really cool. Yep. Not everybody would.
Yep.
Not everybody.
And it's also good to find a good group of people. Find like-minded individuals that you can talk about this stuff to, because not everybody's gonna, agree with you, or there's a lot of people. Like, for instance, when I was having this experience, my parents took me to a psychologist, and I told them, they thought I was crazy. No, I'm not crazy. It's not the medicine or my mind making me hear and see these things. It's just something. It's a phenomenon. It's just something I can't explain. I'll never have the answers. Nobody will. But
oh, we will one day.
Eventually.
Well,
when we're on the other side. Yeah.
If not, though, hopefully we can show enough proof to at least have what I generically call science to take a look. And have enough evidence for them to start asking some of their own questions.
Definitely. And that's why it's so important to keep putting stuff out there. I see a lot of it on the internet, people trolling and bashing. It's discouraging, but that's another piece of advice. Always put what you get out there. Who cares if you're getting excited over a piece of dust? I've got excited over a piece of lead paint falling off of a wall thinking it was a fairy on IR. It's like, it's a part of what we do. It's research, it's, stuff like that. It's okay. Put your stuff out there. You never know.
Yeah. No, that's good advice. And people like you and people who do ghost hunting, you're the feet on the ground, right? We're the boots on the ground doing this. Right. And there is a thing that's called the academic layperson partition, where the people who by career or by high education are scientists. And then there's the people who are out there aggregating the data. And most of the time, they're not the same people. And if there isn't any kind of collusion, so to speak, or collaborative effort between those two groups, you have the people who are getting the data and the people who are assessing and theorizing what might be, and they're not the same people. So there has to be some some fusion of that, and I think a paranthropological approach, like an anthropologist into the paranormal, where you immerse yourself in that culture to feel it, experience, see what it does, learn why it works, and then assess from the inside, not just judging what you're seeing over there.
Right. And even if you do post pictures of dust and call it orbs, you're posting stuff that people can still see and be like, okay, well, this is what dust caused. Now, somebody takes a picture of something else. Now okay, that's not dust. It's a learning process as well.
It's a learning process. I was going to say that's how you learn.
You always learn every time. If you're not learning, you're not doing it,
Right.
Exactly.
Sheree and I were just talking the other day about,
Yeah,
I
when we
think it was
had a
last
team-
night.
team
Then we had a
meeting.
team meeting, but we were talking about mistake after mistake when we
were so
first
excited.
started. But yeah, we had a dust particle float by. We were so excited. We thought it
We
was
were
Oh my
like,
God, orb!
ever.
Dude,
I
bro,
remember
it was
the
a
first
demon.
person- The first person that responds is like, "That's dust," and I'm like, "What? God, dust can't move like that." Oh yes.
and it goes bigger and
Hey, guys.
bigger, right? When it comes closer to the lens.
I've got over 25 years experience investigating. She's been doing it with me for 11 years now. And 2 months ago, when we were on the USS North Carolina, this woman was talking to a Wi-Fi router for 15 minutes.
We had a great conversation, by the way. I'm just saying.
She's in the bunk room by the mess area, and she does her video, and she uses her EMF, and she keeps them far enough apart so they're not picking up each other. And she's getting responses, and I hear her talking over there, and I hear her talking over there. I'm setting up the equipment. I'm like, "Who the hell are you talking to?" She goes, "I'm getting great." She goes, "I'm getting great responses. You should see this spirit must be strong." And I said, "Yeah, you should see the signal coming off the Wi-Fi router." That's it was
Nobody's
literally right above her head. And she didn't see it.
Right?
Right.
That's funny.
But that's like you said, we all learn, right? And if we didn't
Learn
learn
from it.
orbs and dust, then somebody would be singing, "Who are you going to call Dustbusters?" Right?
Exactly.
Dustbusters.
Those were good cleaning units back in the 90s. I know about those.
That's right. Now they're the Swiffer Sweepers.
Right.
Yep. I used to run around the house thinking I was a Ghostbuster with the Dustbusters, so
Don't cross the streams. Don't cross the streams.
Didn't one of the TV shows do that? Didn't one of the TV shows put a glass cylinder container inside like a shop vac thing to try to trap a spirit? Didn't they try to do that on one of the TV shows?
oh my God, did they?
There was something similar to that. I do
Yeah,
remember that.
they were from a state over.
Yeah.
So they
okay.
get it. The ghost gets inside this little
Yeah.
contraption. All it's got to do is walk out. It walked through the wall previously entering the room.
Not contained by time or space, but back into the bed, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was mirrored. It was supposed to be a mirrored container inside.
Well, they
That-
did one every episode. They did a new contraption every
There
episode.
we go. Haunted vacuum cleaner bags. That'll be the new haunted object.
Great shape.
We weren't going to say the name, but yes, Carol, you were correct.
Okay, that was it. I couldn't remember who it was, but I just remember thinking like that's you're loosely pursuing a theory that is so hard to prove that you did it.
Trial and error. You never know. You know.
Yeah, they tried.
Cool.
And I think the biggest struggle was they would take it back to their headquarters and try and prove that it was still there so they could release it. It's like, oh, even if you did trap it, you're just taking it to your shed.
I ain't bringing nothing home with me. Nope, not chancing it.
No.
All right, so we've got some great stuff for Ricky on here. He always sends in some good stuff. So let's start with the first one. And I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then you can tell us about it, and then we'll talk about the evidence that you caught. All right, here we go. Here's the first one.
Possible intelligent answer coming from the necrophonic app.
Don't let them intimidate you. Look, you know we've been here before. We're not trying to mess with you or anything. We just want to know who's still here. You still have a voice. You may have not get to, speak your mind with some of the guards in the trials and the judges. Do you understand we mean no harm? Yes. Yes.
Awesome. right out of the gate.
So that's the haunted Lake County Jail in Crown Point, Indiana. That is the jail that John Dillinger successfully escaped from. That's where he broke out shortly after in 1934, where he was gunned down by that theater. But yeah, that place is crazy. That was during my run of I just discovered the Necrophonic app. I was running it on airplane mode. I like experimenting with different pieces of equipment, and of course, I always try to find the hardest way to get stuff to come through. Because if you get something in, it's like, but that was like on point, like with the response. That's what you're looking for using that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
that was a pretty cool capture.
It was. Timing and relevance is what determines with a response whether it's relevant to the question asked and how quickly did it come through. That yes came through right after you finished your question. And relevant to the question you asked. So you had both timing and relevance in that. That makes it stand out. So that was great.
Yeah. And I love that. One of the number one contender probably to dethrone the orbs that we were just making fun of as incredible, as lacking credibility, is mobile apps on phones, because people don't trust the programming. They don't trust that the microphone is picking you up and all that kind of stuff. And while that's all true, and there is low-hanging fruit for cynicism within something like that, because of that has those attributes to it. What we believe, I think most commonly share a belief, is that spirits can manipulate electronics. So the app happens to be the thing that you're using on the phone. That's the thing that you're organizing your energies with on the device, but they're manipulating the device. They're working through the phone, and if the app is what's lending
the voice,
thank you, yes, the voice to it and making it more applicable to what they're trying to do, then that's the part that the app plays. But it's not just an app. It has to be housed on something. Device is what I think they're patching into.
I like that.
And how you use them.
The airplane mode. I like that you had it on airplane mode.
Yep. And the reason I used it there is because I was when I first got it, I was using it at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, my other home away from home. And I've had spirits literally counting my fingers. I'll be like, okay, since you're trying to come through this, tell me how many fingers am I holding up? I'm holding up 5 fingers. It said 5. I'm like, okay, so I mixed it up, and then I held 2 up, and it went 2. I was like, okay, well, can you read what's on my my can right here? I was drinking a Bang energy drink, and it goes Bang.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
But I was like, okay, so can whatever it can hear me, but can it see me? So that night I put it in, literally, I covered all the cameras up on my phone, and I was sitting there, and it was still counting off how many fingers I was holding up. I was just blown away. I was like, okay, this I could use this app, I gave it the benefit of doubt.
So let's talk about Ricky's investigation techniques too. If you see from the clip, he's very respectful. Mm-hmm. The questions he has are relative to the situation that the spirits would have been in when they were alive, the situation of the old jail that you were in. And then if you guys were paying really close attention, for those of you that say, hey, that Necrophonic app doesn't work, or apps on your phone doesn't work, or it was seeing through your camera, he just debunked his own equipment to prove that he was picking up paranormal stuff.
Right.
That's a sign of a real.
And not only that night, we were getting hits on my EDI meter, and I love the EDI meter. Anybody that uses EDI meter understand it's hard as hell to manipulate. Like, you can literally sit there and shake it. Whatever it is has to penetrate through that sensor. We were getting hits on that. It was a crazy night.
Frank asks a really good question. He says, could a spirit manipulate an AI robot? Well, in my personal opinion, and again, this is just an opinion, but my answer would be yes. I mean, for anybody who has never seen the documentary Calling Earth, I mean, they literally talk about phone calls being made where the spirit could leave not only a message, but literally have a conversation. That answering machines were manipulated. So there isn't a piece of electronics. I mean, you've got text messages that have come through. You've got computer software that was manipulated to give some sort of message. So could an entity manipulate an AI robot? I think absolutely yes. It may take them a minute to figure out exactly what does what, but do they physically have the ability to? My answer, and I don't know if you guys agree or not, but my answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah, I believe anything's possible. I mean, look like Destination Fear. Remember, they had somebody call. I forgot whose phone it was. I don't know if it was
Tanner's
yeah,
phone.
Yeah.
Tanner. Yeah, it's just like how they can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we were at an Elks Lodge in South Jersey with Anthony Simonelli, and the lady who organized the event heard her phone ringing in her pocket in the middle of a session. So she's a little embarrassed, so she takes it out to silence it, and she looks at it and she went, "What?" Anthony's phone, which was in his pocket inside a case, was calling her phone.
What?
She's like, she looked at it, she goes, "You're calling me."
Yeah.
You know, it was on the case. It's not like he bugged out or anything. It was
Right.
And he opened it up and he goes, "Look, I'm not calling you," but it was him. Yeah.
Another example of that was probably 4 or 5 months ago. Ron and I and Lourdes were having a conversation about Marcello Bacci and how these messages he was receiving when he was doing this back in the 80s and 90s, I think.
Yes.
How these messages were coming through, and Ron and I were discussing it, and we were trying to figure out. The next morning, I got up, and I had a Facebook message with a YouTube link in it from no sender. There was no sender listed. When I clicked on the link, it was a Bacci video, that little documentary video that answered the question Ron and I were discussing. When I went back to look again, because I didn't click the link on my phone, I typed it into my computer because I was afraid it was some sort of scam or something, not having a sender. I've never seen that before. It went to the video, and when I went back to the phone, it was gone. Yeah. Like it never existed.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Amazing what they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's a great piece of evidence for and the thing is, for what do they say? When somebody's cynical and they say something can't happen, they have to be right 100% of the time.
Right.
You to say it's possible, you have to be right once. And so that app and its possibilities, there's your once.
Yeah. Yep. And you know, I was hard on ITC, and I still am, because like, you know, there's so many things to manipulate, but they're good pieces of equipment if you use them right, and like you make it hard for stuff to come through, and you're looking just like that. You're looking for an intelligent answer. And if you could get something like that, or it sputters out something that can back up, that you can back up on paper from a history book, it doesn't get any better than that. And it's counting, you know, when you have the cameras covered, like how does that device know how many fingers I'm holding up if it can't see me?
Right. We got another ITC one here for you, Ricky. Let's go ahead and play this one.
Nice.
Cool.
Here we go.
Hello.
Wow.
We actually caught a real disembodied voice, not even coming from an app.
Yeah.
So this is why I stress, always have a recorder running, no matter, even if you are doing ITC device sessions, because you will catch something like that eventually. And it's amazing when you do it, you know?
So answer my question, Ricky, was this in a elderly section of the hospital, like an assisted living section, or?
No. This was at the second floor nursing station, which is in that picture. So what that would be, behind that counter is the ICU. It's a small ICU compared to a normal ICU, but that's where all the critical patients, you know, would go to recover, or unfortunately not recover. So that was on the second floor, and that's, to me, I mean, the whole building's active, don't get me wrong, but the second floor is my favorite spot. That's where all the evidence I got from OSP on this show's come from. But yeah, but who knows? Spirits roam through that hospital all the time.
That's crazy.
I haven't been in a hospital yet, closed or open, where there isn't any spirits.
Right, and that's the thing. That's why people ask me, where would I choose to go? As the number one place. I'm going to a hospital. I mean, because you got to look at it. You got everything. You got life. You got death. You got the happy moments, the sad moments. Everything's there. It's the perfect formula for a haunting.
Yeah, you know what? That's an excellent point. The other thing that I want to add to that is that the longer you do this, and I know you've done it 17 years, I think you said.
Yep.
But you actually don't even have to be in a haunted location. They are literally everywhere. And in fact, you can get communication through ITC from spirits that may not even be in the location you're investigating, but still have the ability to communicate with you. And then, a lot of times people just assume, this entity, we need to find out who this is. He's related to this building or the history of this building. When the fact of the matter is, it may not be at all related, but they are communicating. Right.
Love that.
Yeah, I can pull my phone out and I can communicate with some of the spirits I've connected with at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital through my phone now. It's like, it's interesting. So that backs that up. Yeah, I agree.
Tony's spot on with that too. We always say that you cannot deem a location haunted purely on the strength of getting anomalous vocals, because we get them anywhere. And for people who are looking for the scientific tie-in to that, in quantum theory, there's non-local correlation, which says that two distant objects with no signal can connect.
They're around us.
Correct.
They're always around us.
All the time.
No, that's absolutely correct, Ron. And I mean, we've even had Ron and I have had them communicate back and forth between the two of us across the country in a day or two's time, talking about the same thing, and them asking whether I was a friend of Ron's, and it's crazy.
And I want to clear something up too, that Audra and I have said in the past that we absolutely don't agree with doing it in your own home. We don't agree with doing it in ours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's a reason for it. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is we are both highly sensitive. And I am a very light sleeper because of the physical issues that I have with my arthritis and stuff. The reason I don't do it in my own home is so I'm not awake any more at night than I already am.
Yeah.
Listening for other things.
I mean, I literally, a mouse farts in our house. Extra unfortunate. I don't sleep well, right? Any little noise wakes me up. Now imagine being hypersensitive.
Yeah.
So we actually protect our house so we don't come in. And it's not that I'm afraid of them coming in. Like if I wasn't, if I thought I could sleep at night, then I would do what Tony and Ron does at home to get responses and evidence. But I have to go out and do that because I literally would not sleep at night.
Yeah. And that's totally understandable, Chris. And, I can't speak for Ron and Lourdes, but I can speak for Cherie and I. We don't have those abilities. And without the equipment, they could be screaming at the top of their lungs and we probably wouldn't even know they're there. So the equipment is our tool. But for somebody like you, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. That's why I've got my crystals.
Me too. I have my crystals because I hear voices all the time.
Yeah,
but
she's got a bill.
All the time. I'm like, someone just said whatever. I'm like, I have no idea what that means. But they don't bother me.
Yeah, she has abilities. She's had some pretty wild stuff happen.
But I have my crystals.
She has her crystals.
Yep.
And for us, we never, it's funny. We used to hold the same position. I used to be like, what do your mice eat the fart? Cannoli.
Lactose intolerant.
Cold cut.
So we used to hold the same position. We were like, our home, sacred spaces is our solace. No. But when we got into doing direct radio voice 3-4 years ago, it's a scheduled sitting you do every week to connect and develop the connection and the method. So we had to either do that or rent somewhere.
Yeah, we wasn't renting, so
right.
So we decided to do it here, and we haven't had any. Like I said, I hear voices here and there, whatever, but they don't really bother us. They really don't.
Right. You learn to live with it. That's how I am. Like I'll be sitting here and I'll be like, "What?" I'll go out and I'll be like, "Did you say something to me?" No, I didn't say anything. I'm like, "I know. Okay, I know what it was. Never mind."
Yeah. Like,
okay.
goes, no, I didn't say. You didn't say that. No, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
never mind.
Right?
A great question before we go into the next piece of evidence is in your opinion, how active is your home? Now you said, is this a new apartment you're in now?
This is a new apartment. I don't typically investigate unless something actually starts happening. I don't know within, like, I do kind of know what is causing some of the activity. I do have a 1842 Springfield musket that we bought in Gettysburg. I think something's attached to it. It started when I brought it into my old apartment, but ever since we moved here, it's just we hear weird noises, smells like stuff, and it's a brand new apartment. It's just, but that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
There's so many different other variables and whatnot, but yeah, it's a little more active here than it has been anywhere else. But I've got my protection. I got a crystal I placed in the center of the house to ward off anything unwanted, but I also think it's just a lot of relatives passing in and out, passing through every now and then.
Yeah, and
Yes.
a guitar and a picture of Dave Schrader. That's all you need.
Right. And I got the Ghost Hunter crew right there too.
There you go.
I don't have the destination for your crew hanged up yet, but
I don't see the EVPE crew either, Ricky. What the
I
hell?
know.
right. Hey, I'll get a picture, y'all. Why not?
What the hell, you're?
I'll need y'all to sign it for me when I see y'all finally. I missed y'all at the bash this year. I was so bummed I couldn't make it.
Oh yeah,
But
we spoke.
yeah.
I got to speak with Krista Cesare. It was fun.
It was a great time.
It was a really good time.
And Krista
I'll be
always-
there next year. Speaking
of Gettysburg, I want to touch base on Ricky with his musket that he brought back from Gettysburg. There's a lot of people that are going to say the soldier that touched that musket. Have you ever been to Gettysburg?
Yeah. Have you?
That musket could have more
I'll be
than
right
one
back.
attachment
1 second.
because every spirit that felt the damage, the passion, everything that happened at Gettysburg could attach to that musket.
Yeah.
Because it's relative to what they went through. So that musket could have more than one.
Oh yeah, it's a trigger object to all of them.
Got it. Wow.
That's huge. But
It is. Look at it.
as you can tell, this thing's definitely seen action. You can see the powder burns. It's got all sorts of dings in it. I don't see any initials on it, but no, if you touch this, it's supercharged. It's just it was a Confederate. It was definitely Confederate because it's a smoothbore, but yeah, no, it's those things trap energy just like anything else does. I mean, just because one person dropped the rifle didn't mean the other person didn't pick it up and die with it.
Right.
They scavenged a lot in the Civil War.
Explain to everybody, Ricky, why the smoothbore is Confederate. Because a lot of people
okay, so you've got just like you got your rich and you got your poor. Okay. Union Army was a little more wealthy for the most part and better equipped. Your typical Confederate states, farmers, just like Northern had farmers, but their budgets weren't anywhere near the Union Army. So most of the Confederate weaponry, unless they picked it up off of a dead Yankee, shot the mini balls, 69 caliber, I believe.
Yep.
So and they were older because, like I said, they weren't supplied like the Union were. That's in 1842 as well. So
for everybody watching, teachable moment. For everybody watching, the Union soldiers were giving Army issued, government paid for guns to help fight the South.
Yes.
So these guns had a rifling. So a rifling it makes the bullet spin and gives it more accuracy. The Confederate Army
even then it still didn't have accuracy.
Better accuracy. But when you go to the Confederate Army, or the Confederate Army, and these guys were literally pulling their hunting guns off the shelves above the mantle.
That's what it was.
They didn't have the money to pay for the boring that made it more accurate.
Right. So
I can tell you right now, if you had a Confederate soldier that had an accurate shot, he probably had a crooked eye and a real steady hand, because we're talking a spread of about 6 to 8 inches is lucky at 20 yards.
Yes.
is lucky.
And the fact that these Confederate soldiers were picking off Union officers on Round Top from Devil's Inn, and if you bend or you know exactly how far that is, it's just like
freaking impressive.
How on earth were they shooting straight up in the sky? You know, like how? Right, spray and pray. But yeah, no. If you've seen the mini balls, even though they're not balls, they're the Union Army. They're three ringers. Now later in the war, Confederates developed the two ringer ones and whatnot, but majority of them shot the musket balls because that's what they. I mean, some people are even using probably weaponry from the colonial days. You know, that's been passed down through generation after generation. So the South had it rough, equipment wise. Yeah.
We won't get into that here, Ricky.
No,
right,
I'm just saying equipment wise.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and play your next two because they're connected, related, and the same equipment in the same spot. So let's go ahead and play those congruent to each other.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, cool.
Right, here we go.
If I'm speaking to Connor, can you grab that? Thank you, buddy. Cool. Just Connor. Connor, if it's you, buddy, grab that for me. Thank you. You rock, my friend. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
That's
okay.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a REM pod. I'm not sure who made that, but I was using that at the Bell Mansion, and that is my favorite kind of REM pod compared to the normal ones. It's so much harder because if you notice, some of the older ones they continue to just go off, you know, randomly. That one doesn't. Like, so I sat there and you saw right as I said, "Hey Connor, if that's you." Connor is actually a spirit there at the Bell Mansion that hangs out in the embalming. So that's where that is. That is an original. Yep, that is an original embalming table. We'll talk about the Bell Mansion here in a bit. But so many thousands of bodies, you know, passed in and through that. I mean, that was a funeral home for 93 years here in Fort Wayne. So
93 years?
93 years. And that was from like, I think that embalming table was like the 20s or 30s when that one was there. So it's been there since 1930s.
How's Connor relative to that?
It is a spirit that I'm not sure exactly how they got his name, but he's been relevant ever since I came on board there. And that's what he responds to. Homer Van Meter actually passes in and out there. He was actually embalmed there. Fun fact for mobster fans, his body was actually brought back to Fort Wayne after he was killed in St. Paul, Minnesota. And they had to hide him after they embalmed him there up on the third floor and make a makeshift funeral for him in Lindenwood Cemetery. Because back in the day, people would steal bodies, and then people were trying to find his body. So it's a crazy story. Crazy story. But he passes in and out through there sometimes. It's pretty cool.
Oh.
Hey, real quick, everybody. In 7 minutes, UNX is going to switch over to their next audio program, but we are going to continue live on Facebook and YouTube. So stick around while we finish up with Hellard. All right. All right, next one. USPH knock. So this is the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, right?
Correct. South
And
Pittsburgh,
contrary to
Tennessee.
popular belief, it's not in Pittsburgh, right?
No, it's not. It's nowhere near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's Pittsburgh without the H. South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, closer to Chattanooga and closer to the Alabama border, just to kind of show everybody where to place it in Tennessee.
All right.
But they named it Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yep.
They do that all the
South
time.
Pittsburgh.
There's a Florida, New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, let's go to Florida.
I know.
And Pennsylvania.
Hey, whenever y'all want me, I'll be here.
Pennsylvania has a town called Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
And in order to get
That's
to it,
a little red flag. Red flag.
and in order to get there, you have to drive through another town that's called Blue Balls. I kid you not.
Seriously.
Oh my God, road trip. Let's go.
If you bring them all together, there's a Climax, New Mexico.
Oh my God.
Wow.
There's a Climax, Michigan, which is even closer. You don't have to work as hard.
Where are we going?
No, I'm good. I don't. Last
know we
time
were
I
gonna
went to
change
Michigan,
the
I got COVID.
Oh my God, that was funny.
I agree with you, Frank. I bet he is. Suddenly it's
Follow
degenerate.
if you like comedy, follow the official Bell Mansion on TikTok. I run their TikTok. We had some funny videos from yesterday's shenanigans on the road trip. You'll love it.
Clubs, Ricky.
Sorry.
We're not there yet. We still have evidence, brother.
Right.
All right. So, guys, listen closely to this one. There is a reply, but it's very faint. You got to listen close. Here we go.
Listen.
I know you like to knock because the last time I was here with my friend Billy, you knocked on this wall for me. Can you do this? Ooh.
Wow.
Tell me Good job.
So, the knocking. That's the thing that makes me think I'm going crazy at that hospital. I've put in so many hours there being a volunteer down there, and that never gets old. That and the footsteps. EVPs are absolutely amazing. That you can get from there. That if you love EVPs, that's just fun.
You need to go through that clip. You've got more than knocking. You've got EVPs in that clip.
Yeah, I heard
Right,
an EVP
right.
there.
There is some faint voices. And it's crazy because we all heard it. Like that, I was helping with an overnight group that we had there. They allowed us to come do some investigating because it's good. You know, you have people that are there all the time. The spirits are a little more friendly, and they'll come out and interact more. And that's what you saw. And that's the same area. That's up. That's in the second floor. And the crazy thing about that is, I'll never forget an experience. I was there. I was sitting on the floor, and there's a wall behind me into a patient's room, and each room has one bathroom. 2 rooms shared 1 bathroom. So nobody went in this way, nobody went in the other way. So I remember my friend Billy goes, if you're over here with us, because we were getting some activity with the laser grid. We had a laser grid set up. You could see it moving down the wall faintly. I was like, okay, cool. So we're sitting there. I'm sitting there. Another volunteer's over there. My friend Billy's over here. And all of a sudden you hear, and I felt it through the wall. And I got up. I shot up. Was like, what the hell? Billy went in this way. I went around this way. There was nobody in that room, but they're knocking. And it didn't stop there. It started knocking all around us. I thought I was losing my mind. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That's
insane.
cool. Now,
Yeah.
I have saved your best clip for last. And I'm going
Yes,
to let
you guys are gonna. This will blow your mind.
So let's talk about this one first. Don't tell them what it is. Yes. Was there anybody in this location when this was caught?
No. I was literally the only one in the middle of the daytime by myself. I'm the only one there.
Okay.
And it was a sunny day, bright and sunny. There was no rain. So for those of you skeptics out there, keep that in mind. I already tried to debunk it, and I cannot debunk it. You'll see why at the end. Listen at the end. It really kicks up. Yeah. And you're going to hear voices and all sorts of other stuff with it. So.
All right, here we go.
That's noisy. As
Okay.
hell.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and what you guys are hearing is possible residual noise from a gurney rolling down the hallway. The crazy thing about this, like I said, it was in the middle of the daytime. I was the only one there, and it was a bright and sunny day. So upon reviewing it, the first thing I thought, okay, that maybe, it's rain. So I blew it up, and I was like, no, because if you hear at the end, you can hear the wheels just going click, 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 like a cart.
That's
You
exactly
can hear
what
the
I said.
footsteps. You can hear the voices, like somebody talking. I'm the only one in the hospital at this time, and I'm telling you, this is crazy because this is the longest residual audio I've ever caught. It's over 1 minute and 6 seconds long. And like I said, you gotta experience Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. It's the activity is so real and genuine, it makes you think you're going crazy. But
Yeah. Wow.
I've tried everything. But it's bizarre. You never know what you're gonna get there.
And I did hear at least one instance there was a voice saying something, not just one word. It was like
it was a couple of syllables. It's very, very, very faint. But you can also hear kind of like somebody stepping around as they're pushing it. And over a minute long. It blew me away.
Yeah, it was there was continuity to the sound. It was rhythmic, and it had, to put it in terms of like its oscillations, it had a cadence that was continual.
I thought maybe it was typing at first, but the gurney sound made no sense. But at first I thought maybe it was typing.
Yes.
Yeah. But no,
right there. And that was the main patient hallway too. So you'd have the way the hospital's laid out, you have the original Tri-City Clinic, and then right past that is the ER. And from the ER, it goes down and you go around the corner, and that brings you to the nurse's station and everything right there. So, and then on the other side of that there's a long hallway, which was main patient hall. That's what I call it. So the gurney and everything totally makes sense because, they would roll patients in and out, or the ICU. But you can actually hear it start coming down the hall, and it gets closer and closer and closer, and then it just goes away. And it's just like...
Yeah, we should play it. We should play it again for Everett.
Yeah, play it again. Play it again.
Well, like an IV thing too.
Right.
Yeah.
Before you do, Chris, the one thing I did notice was that it got louder and louder to a point, and then it faded out, and I found that very interesting because the first thing I said to Sheree was,
I was the only one there.
A cart or a hospital gurney coming down. Down the hallway.
I checked the cameras too. We have cameras there, security cameras. There's nobody there at all. I'm the only one there.
You know what would have been great, Ricky, is if you'd have tied that same video at the same time with the audio into that clip. Would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't think of that because at the time I reviewed it when I got home about a week later, and I was like, dang it.
What's amazing, if you saw that video I showed of the gurney wheel,
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, if you saw that video I showed of the gurney wheel, if you go back about 10 to 15 years prior to that, the gurney wheels got bigger, and they were like spoked, like a bicycle wheel.
Yep.
And anybody that knows those gurney wheels, those things used to go like this as they went down the hallway.
And you can hear that. You can hear that in there at the end.
I wanted to say that right before we played it again. So here we go. Now with that wheel in mind, listen to this.
You can hear the wheel thumping the ground at the end. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah.
So she pointed out to me where the one really strong voice kind of like pops in. I didn't hear it the first time like that, but she hears everything.
Yeah.
So
it's towards the beginning, wasn't it?
It was like in the middle. In the middle.
Right.
A female.
And you could also
Yes. There you go. It sounds like a shopping cart at Walmart.
yeah, it does. But you can hear the footsteps, like when it like stops for a minute and you hear the footstep, and it's like they're adjusting. Yep.
Now let me
They're
add a
pushing
little
it down the
bit more to
hall.
Towards the end, where it sounds like it's coming right at you, and it gets really loud, and then it turns. Like it went down,
Like it goes down the hallway.
Standing at the corner, and it turned and went down this hallway, and it's going away from you.
Yeah.
right. So and then Tony pointed that out audibly, and what you're describing, that's what you would call the Doppler effect with sound, where you have the compression of the wave, and you get that as it gets closer, then it trails off. That's the Doppler effect of sound, which is fascinating when you consider that sound was not something, at least its origins were not environmental. If it was an ambient sound in the moment, perhaps, but whatever caused it was not a cart or anybody in there, because you would have known.
Right. And that's the thing. Any of our cameras have motion sensors on there, and it alarms. So I didn't get none of that.
It's like it reached its destination, because it's like adjusting. It's like turn. You like when you get where you want to go, and it's like, all right, I gotta put this here, and they're fixing it to do whatever they gotta do. Yeah.
It blows me away every time I hear it. Like,
It's creepy.
yeah.
It's like a horror movie.
Well, exactly. And I know, Ron, you can give me the term I'm looking for, because I can't think of it for some reason off the top of my head. But it really makes you wonder, because Chris and I and Audra and Cherie have experienced this, I don't know how many times in the old Phelps Dodge, but it was recorders would run, we'd go eat, leave them run. Cherie and I have left stuff running overnight. And all of these noises, footsteps, people talking, what sounds like boxes being moved around, things shuffled, clipboards being filed, papers. And
I remember y'all sharing that, and that it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go there, but now we can't. It's like, no, damn it.
But the point I'm trying to get to, and Ron, help me out with the term, but where various segments of reality exist simultaneously, but on different planes or different. So like the fact that hospital could still very much still be occupied and used, just not in the dimension or time frame that we're experiencing it.
Right. And so I mean, if it's something residual based and it's still inexplicable, then it wouldn't be it wouldn't be, what's the word? I'm looking for a word now too. We're all looking for words here.
I would think he's talking about like a
word.
Right.
You know, when you have a time slip, so it's like it's still in another dimension being used at whatever time that was, and then there was like a time slip where that noise came through.
If it's happening now in a different continuum, and it's happening now, and the audio through some kind of a temporal hole is piercing through, you're able to capture it where we are, but it's happening now. Versus something that might be saved as residual, maybe that's captured or trapped in the energy that's held within the environment. Both of those are possible, but it's fascinating because it does exhibit some of those traits, like stopping and resetting, the trailing off, like Tony said, what Chris was describing. This more than one sound having its own rhythm with the wheel and the step, an occasional vocal. That's a lot. That's a lot of capture. If it is residual,
I mean, really, because I've been in the hospital, and that sounded to me like somebody like needed to use the bathroom or something. You're going to the bathroom, they reach their destination, they're like, that's what it sounded like to me.
Let me bring you into a metaphysical world. Audra's seen me do this at numerous locations. When I connect to a location, I'll get to the location, I'll go into the building, and I'll literally close my eyes and I'll put my hand against the wall, and I will sit there. Tony and Cherie have seen me do this at the Aho hospital. I will hold my hand against that wall, and then all of a sudden you'll see me let go, and I'll turn and you'll see me going like this.
Yeah.
And I get it seems like a time slip.
Because you can
but
see it.
See the hospital happening, and at the same time, I can see Tony and Cherie walking down the hall. I can see Audra standing over
Yes,
the left.
they merge.
It's
I've
like
had that
I
happen,
jump
Chris.
into that time slip, and
Yep,
then
it's like
that's
the
when
two
I
worlds
start my
connect.
investigation.
Yeah, it's when the two worlds connect. And that's
Yes,
happened.
when
We
they
got to
connect.
get y'all down to OSPH. We need to get y'all down there. I want to see what y'all think of the place. Because I'm telling you, that is my home away from home too.
Yeah, that is on my bucket list for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I don't know if the term you were looking for, Tony, was morphic resonance, where everything
Yes.
collectively connected. There's no time, space. There's no past, present, future. Everything's in the now.
Right.
And so it could be happening at the same time somewhere else.
And like you said, that those sounds bleed over into ours. But then if you think about it, that means it could happen the other way. Ours could bleed over into theirs, and they're like, "Oh my God, ghosts!"
To theirs,
but to them, right?
We're at it. We're kind of in a war with two different realms.
Well, I had a time
Who can
slip
pollute each
here.
other the most?
I had a time slip here. I'm telling you, it was so weird. I was upstairs brushing my hair, and a couple of things happened. But what I saw was I could still see the city, because you can see the city from where I could still see the city, but the landscape was all different. It was like farm and everything. It was like I was in two worlds at the same time. It was really, really weird. So I know what you're saying, Chris, because it's like I took it as a time slip. I was in between both times.
I had that happen quite a few times down in Tombstone when we were there, and at Trans-Allegheny. That last time we did an investigation, I literally was standing in the hallway, and I told Audra, I said, I can see the beds, I can see the nurses, I can see the patients walking. It was weird. It almost freaked me out because it was so heavy and so intense. It was amazing. But yeah, I've had that happen too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It leaves you thinking. I'm like, what? When it finished, I was like, what the just happened? Like,
What really messes with your mind is when you walk down the middle of it, and one of the things that you think is a time slip turns and looks at you, and then it fades.
Oh
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's
what's weird. Yeah,
that's scary.
That's what I love about what we do, though. You know, I mean, there's so many different theories and outlooks on it. It's just it lights the fire. To find more answers.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
It does sound like reminiscent of what you would call what you said as a time slip.
That's what I call it, because that's what it felt like. When it happened to me, that's what it was. So or
you're stepping into their world. It's crazy.
Or bringing their world into ours. We just don't know which one it is.
How that happens, right?
Right.
All right, Ricky. It is Hellard shameless plug time. Tell us where you vlog. Okay. Tell us what you do. Tell us the groups you're involved with. Talk about OSPH. Put it out there, brother. That's why we call it shameless.
All right. So if y'all are interested in following me on social media, you can find me at Paranormal Encounters, both on Facebook and YouTube. YouTube's where all the content goes. Also Facebook to an extent. As well as, TikTok. I run the Bell Mansion TikTok, the official Bell Mansion on TikTok. It's a big picture of the building. We have some videos and contents up finally on there. And also you can find me at Pararealm Ricky on TikTok. That's my personal Pararealm TikTok as well. Not too much content on TikTok because I'm just starting to get into the TikTok, thing. But I gotta shamelessly plug two locations that are near and dear to my heart. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, an amazing location. You can find them on Facebook, Haunted Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and you can book your overnights. We do private overnights there. We have day tours. I recommend getting the full experience. Do the day tour, take a break, come back and do the full overnight. You'll thank me. It never disappoints. Also on top of that, the Bell Mansion here in Fort Wayne, my awesome friends Nick Carboni and Angie Sturm run that building. I'm helping them with media and TikTok as well, and they're just a great group of people in the preservation of history and just this is a building. The woodwork's original. The woodwork yet alone is worth it to come see. We do ghost tours, history tours. We have private investigations, public investigation every Wednesday from 7 to 11 p.m. You can come in for $20. You can't beat that. And investigate, We have the embalming room. Like I said, it was a funeral home, and a beautiful house. There's just a lot of cool stuff that's happened. I'm blessed to be a part of both of these locations. So it's an amazing location, both of them.
That's awesome.
I follow you, Bill Manchin official on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I do follow you guys. I follow.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah.
I didn't know you read it. I was
So let me plug this too. Yeah, let me plug this too. So once we reach 1,000 followers on Bell Mansion, the official Bell Mansion TikTok, you lovely viewers get to choose where I get to spend 45 minutes or an hour, whatever y'all decide, of my time locked down by myself. And I got a pretty good little spot. I laid in a body box. We have an original body box that they would ship on railways. So it's an old coffin-looking box that's wooden, but they take the metal one and they put it in there and put the wooden lid on top of it and ship it. So yeah, laying in there in the pitch black dark with the lid on is kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So if y'all want to see stuff like that, we got to hit 1,000 viewers because you can't go live otherwise. That's just how TikTok is. So
hey, you got to give it up for Ricky. Laying in the body box with the top on top is kind of creepy.
And y'all know me, I'm sensitive as it is. So you should have heard the Estes method session. I wasn't putting out there because I didn't want to be left down there by myself, but it was telling me to leave. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh.
That's
all right,
great.
Tony, Cherie, Ron, Lourdes, you guys got anything to say before we start thinking who's been watching? Yeah, good audience.
What you gotta say?
Anything?
The only thing I think we should cover is we're in the 3rd day of October, and I just like to give the entire team a chance to say what they got planned for October. I know that all of us have things that we're doing. I think this would be a great opportunity to let the audience know what we're up to for the month.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool idea.
So who wants to start?
Well,
You guys start.
we have this coming Friday. We launched the Digital Seance Initiative, which is the formal sitting of an actual old school seance with direct radio voice, which also did in its infancy and then throughout Europe, like sittings. So we launched it at the Pine Bush UFO and Paranormal Museum just about a year ago.
It was last year, exactly. It was in October.
And we've done several of them. The 3rd book I'm writing now is called Digital Seance Initiative, and it has a lot of the profound moments we were able to facilitate for people who felt like they connected with a loved one or somebody, they got a moment of solace, closure, whatever, that were touching for us, brought tears to people's eyes. So that's the 3rd one I'm writing, and we're doing the next one.
We're doing the Shadow Soiree on Friday. There's 2 tickets left, guys.
Yeah, 2 tickets from sold
grab
out.
them if you want to go.
In Pine Bush, New York. It's they're doing a Phantasmagoria Magic Lantern show and presentation narrated by author Linda Zimmerman. We're doing a digital seance. It's Victorian themed, so we're wearing Victorian clothes.
Did you?
Yes, that's awesome.
Ron's even wearing that little push-up thing.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
I'm wearing it now.
There you go.
Yes, and Stephanie Smith from up at the Shanley Hotel is going to be doing the Magic Lantern Phantasmagoria presentation that's narrated by Linda Zimmerman.
That's right.
That's this weekend, and then what do we have after that? We have we're doing the Massachusetts Paracon.
Yeah.
There's an episode of Dead Ends, Haunted Hotels Live. I think
that's in October too.
October 13th.
Yep.
14th, something like that. 14th.
That Friday. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure there's something else that we're forgetting.
Yeah.
But the end of the month, the last 2 weekends of the
your
month.
other book signing, October 27th.
That's right. We're doing a book signing at the Rockaway Township Library with Rich Michelle from New Jersey Paranormal Project. He and I, and then Kimberly Geyer from his team NJPP. We're doing a speaking engagement. Oh, and then October 20th, I'm lecturing, and I dragged Chris DeCesare, the ghost boy at Geneseo. I dragged him to lecture with me at the Liberty Science Center in Jersey City, New Jersey, for their big Halloween party bash that Thursday night. He was kind enough to drag me into lecturing with him in Gettysburg, And it was phenomenal to work with somebody like that. So when I got the nod to go back to the Science Center, I went, I got to bring somebody.
Nice.
So,
That's cool.
so
I think that's all.
I think that's all. So thank you for thank you.
Awesome. And in case you're all wondering, no, Ron and Lourdes do not sleep.
You really don't.
Because
The grind
they work
don't
on top of all
stop.
that.
Yeah, when you're talking about the grind, you're talking about coffee because that grind cannot stop.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. You know.
Tony and Shree, what you got going on?
Yeah.
Okay. This coming weekend, Vulture City Paracon.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome.
The weekend after that is Keith and Lindsay's wedding.
Keith and Lindsay's wedding.
Oh, that's nice.
Keith Davidson, right?
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Right, who will probably be at Vulture City, so we'll get to see them there. So Sam's going to be there, Andrea's going to be there, so that'll be cool. Then the weekend after that, we are going to Gilbert to the Superstition Museum, and I'm doing a live demonstration in some old barn left out on somewhere in the Superstition. I don't even have the location yet.
Yeah.
Right next to Lost Dutchman's gold mine, where that
probably. But I'll get to do DRV there. Yeah. Then the next weekend is Oktoberfest.
Yeah, the 29th.
29th, we'll have a full booth. I'm doing another DRV demonstration. And then we're doing a cleansing of the Scottsdale house that was on Ghost Adventures.
Yes.
That might be November.
Oh, wow.
Check my schedule.
Yeah.
I think that's November.
Yeah.
And
Dead Ends.
Oh,
Dead
and
Ends.
Dead Ends, October 14th, which
With
is
Sam?
with Sam
Yes.
and Ron and
and-
Lourdes and why am I drawing a blank on names? Becky and April and
Yes.
Richard, thank you. That's alive on the 14th, I believe, and that is at the which hotel?
Farnsworth, Gettysburg.
Farnsworth, yes. Farnsworth.
Amazing place.
Yeah.
The Farnsworth.
I don't think I'm forgetting anything.
No, I don't think so.
What about
you
you,
got it.
Chris and Audra? What do you have going on?
Nothing.
No, you guys are-
Well,
I'm tired of listening to you guys.
Yeah, we're wore out now. No, we don't. We have some paranormal stuff coming up in November. We have a lot of personal stuff going on in December. My personal career is going very well here in Charlotte with the company that I'm with in October. I'm
Good.
traveling to Dallas.
Good deal.
For some stuff going on there. Our grandbaby will be born towards the end of this month, and then we're going.
Congrats. That's awesome.
We're going out to Phoenix. We'll see Tony and Sheree while we're out there again
Yay!
next month. But the paranormal stuff that we're doing here, I didn't mention it to a lot of people. We're a point of contact for a lot of the groups here. We do readings for them. Some of them are remote to kind of get a reading of what the location's about. We've been pretty dead on so far. No pun intended.
Head on.
We've done a couple cleansings here in North Carolina that have led to I'm actually starting to study demonology and get deeper into it so we can reach out and help more people. So
that's awesome.
I've reached out to Joe Thompson. I've reached out to a couple other people that are I won't mention their names because they were private conversations, but I've reached out to a couple people and they basically told me all I got to do is educate myself with the demonology part of it. I've basically been doing it for years anyway. So
awesome.
Thank you,
there you go.
Yeah.
Found your calling, man. That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, we're deep into the paranormal here in Charlotte, but we're not we don't go out and investigate every week.
No.
We have an exciting one coming up for Southern Entities. It's just going to be me, Audra, and Carrie. Carrie has found her sensitivity lately. It's been growing, so we're doing an investigation up north next month that we're going to work with her a little bit, trying to open her up a little bit more and get in touch. It's a pretty positive location. It's got recorded 70 spirits in it, but it'll just be the three of us, working together to work on some of our psychic abilities while we're there. So
cool.
We got a lot going on. We'll release it later, but that's basically what we got going on. Most of August is personal stuff for us. It's exciting personal stuff. So
that's right. That's right. The birth of your baby, your grandbaby is awesome stuff.
Yeah, that's huge. That's
awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, another all good on this planet. Y'all are in trouble.
They ain't ready.
As long as all goods keep reproducing, this world's in deep shit. I can tell you that right now. But
I also got to do another shameless plug.
Oh no, you're
for y'all.
up.
Thank you so much. No, it's for y'all. Like, thank you for everything. Y'all have been amazing supporters of me and what I do, and I'm honored to have you guys in my circle. So thank you for everything.
Oh, thank you. You're a great guest, really. I love your energy.
I'm just me. I'm just me.
He always brings it, man.
Yeah.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
We gotta meet up sometime. Investigate somewhere.
Oh,
I don't care where.
definitely.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that we need to plan somewhere where we can all converge and do something with Mr. Hellard.
I agree. I agree.
We need to go somewhere.
Ooh, maybe Kayla's location. It's like a in between for all of us, right there in Middletown.
Where exactly are you? Where are you located exactly again? And what?
I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
So I'm up north, but it's weird. It all depends where I go, how long it is. But there's certain parts of the state, like I have friends that like they live in a certain part of Indiana, like everything's like 2 hours from them. But me, it's like 4 to 6. It's like, ow.
Yeah.
How long was Gettysburg for you?
Chicago, Detroit,
10 hours. 10 hours. It's not far.
So Fort Wayne sits like directly east of Columbus, Ohio. Directly west.
Yeah, we are. I'm like maybe 15, 20 minutes from the Ohio border.
There you go.
Going that way. And about an hour or so from the Michigan border.
So then where's Kayla? Kayla's where? Where's Kayla?
Dayton.
Kayla is down by Dayton, Columbus area.
Dayton, Ohio.
Ohio? Oh, yeah. That's not far at all. That's like 3-4 hours from me. So
Right.
We have to
people
figure it
call me
out.
crazy because I drive 8 hours to go to a volunteer at Old South. But it's worth it. I mean, you know, I love the paranormal, and I have a passion for preservation of history, and you know,
Right.
That's what brings us all back.
Let's
All
take
right,
a
guys,
place
we
and
wanna-
do it.
We want to thank everybody that stopped in. Everett, Carol.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. There was a lot tonight. Melissa. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa's always. Kathy Casanova is always one of our huge supporters. Anthony Simonelli, how you doing?
How you doing?
Someone.
Someone.
Yeah, someone stopped by.
Hungry for more.
Katie stopped by.
Katie, of course, was here. I didn't see Steve. Maybe he's watching with Katie. Frank Barone stopped by again this week. Thanks for stopping by, Rick.
Carol Garcia.
Yeah, Carol Garcia.
Carol.
Ron from ERRT Radio.
He always talks about
Yeah, he's a great supporter, really nice person too.
whoever user is.
Yep. Donnie stopped by. My sissy and AZ.
Yeah.
Stopped in.
But thank you all for watching. We'll be back next week
Yeah.
with Maureen from A Little Witchy. We met her up in Gettysburg. She'll be back with us. She'll be with us next week.
Right.
Maureen's a psychic medium, and she also has some evidence to share with us. So
Awesome.
Yeah, she was fascinating too. She walked into the Gettysburg Expo and she kept getting the name Maggie was screaming at her, Maggie, 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 Maggie. She didn't know what it meant, and she said she looked at me and she goes, I felt like I needed to talk to him. Now, in the third book I'm writing, Digital Seance Initiative, I was writing some history of seance, formal seances, and the history of it with the Fox sisters and the Davenport brothers, and I had just written a section on the Fox sisters that had something to do with mentioning Maggie the day before we left for Gettysburg, and then she comes in going, I'm getting this Maggie screaming at me. And then I looked at you like I had to tell you something. It was really weird timing. Like I've never had that happen before, and I've never written about anything like that.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, she's a really cool lady.
Holy cow.
All right, guys. Next week, same time, same channel, same 6 people. Sorry. Except for Ricky. Ricky won't be here. Sorry, Ricky.
That part of the show is not coming back.
Oh, stop.
But hey, remember, guys, if you want to have a Hellard good time, you want to catch some Hellard good evidence, there's 2 things you got to do. You got to hang out with Hellard, and you got to stay haunted. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
Night.
Thank you, guys.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?